Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. And we are good to go. All right. Islam. We are here for 30 minutes, more or less, if I can find my stylus. Oh, that's just great. I got everything except that. It's all good. I'm going to just keep on going unless I see it, which I don't. All right. So Islam. We are here for 30 minutes, more or less. Happy holy day to all Moors and Muslims. I am Sister Tahita S. Najio Lael of CalifaMedia.com, mrcicharities.org and com, of riseofthemoors.org and com, and most recently certifiedmoorish.org and com. Again, happy holy day, Islam to all Moors and Muslims. I'm going to try not to keep y'all long because I have got to get out of this room because it's sizzling hot. Yay me, I have the hottest room in the summer and the coldest room in the winter. Allah willing, y'all can hear me. All right. So, because I'm trying something new with this mic thing. All right. So if you're in here, can you all just put a thumbs up if you can hear me before I just keep talking and there's no sound? If there's not, I'm still recording it in a second spot because I don't trust Instagram ever. So anyway, I'm going to just jump into it. And of course, as usual, I have my notes because why? I respect your time. All right. So today's focus is going to be double busted vampire weed, class action cat's paw, washed out wasp's nest, and my turn to laugh. All right. Islam, I hope y'all can hear me. If you can, please just give a thumbs up if you can hear me because I have a mic on and I'm making sure it works. It worked when I tried it with my regular camera, but I don't know if it's working with Instagram. So Allah willing, y'all can hear me. Okay. Weekly announcements. Today is 7/11, June 11th, right? 7/11. What? That's a special year in Moorish history because I'm going to read what I asked ChatGPT to give me a brief synopsis of a special event that occurred in the year 7/11 AD. I'm going to read that off to you real quick, okay? So, in 7/11, oh, this looks so bare over here. Put something over here to make it look, oh, there we go. Now it's more interesting. There we go. Oh, I got my mustard seed, right? You know what a mustard seed is, right? If you don't, you will soon enough because I'm about to bring something out about mustard seeds. Anyway, in 7/11, a major historical event was that the Umayyad Muslim conquest, we'll just say the Umayyad dynasty conquest of the Iberian Peninsula, commonly called the Moorish invasion of Spain. I don't know if it was an invasion because based on what I've read in numerous places, the Moors, one group of Moors was chased into Spain by another group of Moors. So it was the Umayyad versus the Abbasid, if I'm saying that right, Abbasid, right? So the Abbasid chased the Umayyads across the Strait of Gibraltar, and they went in there and they were doing their own thing in Iberia, which at that time was being run by, or being held hostage by the Vandals. That's an actual group of people. So it's being held hostage by the Vandals. And in 7/11, the Moors entered Spain and they just set up shop, right? I read this book, Servants of Allah and Jewel of the Orient. It talks about it, how these people were just over there, they landed on shore. It was a big old tragedy around it. So they landed on shore. It was an Umayyad prince and his entourage. Okay. His brother was with him. Do your research and find out what happened to him. Okay. So they were just doing their own thing, but they were well armed, well fed, and they smelled good. So the people who were the Iberians were like, hey, can we come sit next to you? Because these marauding Vandals from Germany are giving us hell, right? Can we come sit with y'all? Sure, go ahead. As long as you help me with some stuff, because, I'm just camping out. I would love to be living in a palace because I am a prince. Sure, no problem. I got a ton of children, blah, blah, blah. I was going to sell my wife for sugar, but I guess I'll keep her and have some more sons so that they can help you. Fast forward 800 years. They always try to say the Moors only ruled Spain for 700. It was like 781 years. Okay, so round up if you're going to be rounding it all. The books again, Servants of Allah and Jewel of the Orient. Okay. If you want, actually, I'm putting together a book list on certifiedmoorish.org of some books that I found handy that Moors can read in maybe a week. 7 days. You should be reading a book a week. You should be able to finish a book every week. I start the Moors out with stuff. Dang, my son is reading it. I have this one. It's about this thick. It's really thin, right? It's really thin. And it's called Zag by Marty Neumeier. This thing tells you how to break stuff down till it can't be broken down even further. And that's the message you want to give to your customers. So even if they just see a flashbang, they got your whole message because you reduced it down to that. This dude is like the guru of advertising. But anyway, so that'll be certifiedmoorish.org reading room. I'm just starting to stack up books that I know y'all can finish in a week that have served me greatly. All right. So moving on to the 7-Eleven thing. I want to finish that. It says, in that year, an army led by the Berber. That's like saying nigga. I got to go talk to ChatGPT. I got to tell it don't use that word with me. Anyway, in that year, an army led by, I should have read this first, by the Moorish general Tariq ibn Zayed crossed from North Africa into what is now Spain, landing at Gibraltar, whose name comes from the Arabic Jabal al-Tariq, or Mount of Tariq. The Muslim forces defeated King Roderick of the Visigoths, aka Vandals, right? The fact that you have a concept of what Vandal means, it came from their behavior, okay? So anyway, it was the Vandals, the Visigoths, and it was a third one that was just like, after the Romans failed, all these gangs, these Germanic gangs formed, and they were just torturing everybody in Southern Europe, and then the Moors showed up, okay? The Muslim forces, the Moorish forces defeated King Roderick of the Visigoths at the Battle of Guadalete, which opened the way for the Moors to expand across most of the Iberian Peninsula. And they made it all the way into southern France, if I'm not mistaken. This event marked the beginning of nearly 800 years of Moorish rule in parts of present-day Spain and Portugal and parts of France, profoundly shaping the culture, architect, science, and legacy of Iberia and Europe. That's funny how they don't consider Iberia and Europe one thing. Fine. So that's 7-Eleven. All right, so moving on, okay? Real quick announcements. Moorish Meetup NYC is quickly approaching. I think it's in like 2 weeks. Yes, in 2 weeks. So if you want to RSVP, there is an RSVP at riseofthemoors.org/NYC. And you can RSVP and see the full itinerary. We will be meeting up from Friday, July 25th through July 26th. All right. And like I said, all the information is available at riseofthemoors.org/NYC. So I did all that. Okay. And there is a 508 incorporated class coming soon because Moors have been asking me the same questions repeatedly. All right. So I figure if it's not on the frequently asked questions page, right? If it's not on the inside the 508 Inc. page, where I actually break it down and you still have questions, I have a class for you. I'm not saying you don't understand it. I just realized it's like, okay, what I'm giving, what I provided is for people who have at least a familiarity with it. Maybe you don't have that. There's a class coming soon because if I haven't mentioned it before, I know I have a son. He's a home birth. He does not exist in their system. I'm not trying to have him coming to his siblings who do have social security numbers and blah, 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 every time he needs something done. So I'm setting all of this stuff. I have to teach him how to run corporations because he'll never be able to I don't want him to have one anyway, but I'm teaching him how to set up and run corporations so he can always be the boss. Okay, that kind of thing. And you are welcome to join in because I'm setting up this class for him. He's 15 years old, about to be 16. So and he's a Moor, homeschooled Moor by me. I'm not bragging, but I am a Moor. I know who I am. I never bow to a white Jesus. And I got a degree in education on purpose so I could educate my own children. So this is for him. So it's probably more like collegiate level, even though he's only 16. So yeah, that's coming very, very, very soon because I'm still trying to finish the trust because this thing is getting involved because again, I only want to have to do it once, right? And the one that I'm setting up is for an Ecclesiastic Trust. Okay. So if you have a business and you want that business to engage in charitable contributions and acts and initiatives on behalf of the Moorish Science Temple, you can use your 508 Inc. This is how I'm doing it. Use your 508 Inc., which is tax exempt already, to set up a trust, right? And it's a whole thing where it's really cool. I'm like, yeah, I'm going through it. And it's going to be a class too, because my son needs to know how to run a trust. If you like to follow along, it will be available to those who are interested. So anyway, I've got what I'm saying. Must not be important. Oh, if you have the 508 Inc., I'm using the 508 Inc. that I set up to set up this Ecclesiastic Trust. Because of the way the corporation was set up, the trust automatically falls in line. So when I notify the IRS that this thing cannot be taxed because of who set it up and what they set it up for, I don't need to apply for anything, right? I'm not asking for you to recognize anything. That's the crazy part about this whole thing. There's no recognition. It's all notice. I'm not asking you anything. I'm not native. I'm indigenous. So I'm telling you some stuff. It's really cool, right? And again, I always vet it. Trust me. I've been running this company since 2014, right? That's 10 years. I waited 10 years to say anything. And now I'm doing some other stuff and it's like going to be some years out before I let that out either. So yeah, it's all safe because I don't want to go to jail and I don't want to be responsible for anybody else going there either. So that's that. So again, 508 Inc. class is coming soon. Next announcement, a poll, just a poll. You know, I'll be putting it out, but something to mull over right now. I've been having a great time at the temple I attend. It is the temple in Arizona. I guess it's a study group, but I'm calling it a temple for a reason. Islam, Brother Reggie, he's in here right now. So if you need somewhere to go, I'm just saying, I'm not inviting you. I'm just saying what I'm doing. Brother Reggie L has a study group / temple set up in the Phoenix area. And if you need a link to it, you can contact him or go on to certifiedmoorish.org/temple finder, all one word. And there's a link directly to their Zoom meetings that are held on Friday evenings at 7 p.m. Arizona time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday school, which is 12 p.m. I think it's Mountain, Arizona time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So you can get a link to that because they're working on a website. But until such time as you can get to the website, it's a link to all of this stuff on Certified Moorish. Because I met these Moors in person. Ain't no virtual stuff. It is. But the virtual came after the physical. So yeah. Anyway, and they some good brothers. We've been building. So that brings me to the poll. So in one of the classes, we were discussing, and this actually is going into what I'm going to be talking about tonight, and some other stuff. The Moorish Meetup. So the Moorish Meetup. If you don't know, the name of the Moorish Meetup or the theme is Navigating Waters of Legacy, which is unbelievably divine. I don't know if ironic is the word. It's just crazy. Like it's verification. Navigating waters of legacy. And what have you seen going on with water lately? All right. Texas. Now New Mexico is going through the same thing. Before this happened, we were in a class. I can't remember which one because all of them just be off the chain. All right. And we were discussing how, it must have been a couple of weeks ago or last week. We were discussing how the Jamaicans are being warned to be the ones who are being specifically deported from the United States are being warned. If you intend to return to Jamaica from specifically the United States, you better be on your best behavior or you're going to meet a judge or your maker. That's what their prime minister said. Okay. This is what you're saying about a country. I think their national motto is come to Jamaica. And this is what they're saying to the indigenous/native people. You better not come up here acting a fool. That's what you're saying about your people who left within the last 2 decades at the most. Now let's look at the colonists that were sent over here 400 years ago. Would you, if you were in Germany, if you were in France, if you were in Spain, if you were in England, would you want the people in the United States, these Caucasians in the United States, in your country? I think I've mentioned this before. I follow an astrologer who's Italian. She's making the right moves, trying to get her Italian citizenship so she can move over there, right? She tried it based on her father, okay? Because he came from Italy when he was 17 to the United States. Met her mother, whose parents were from the same village he had just immigrated from, right? But she was born here. So she's like, oh, of course I'm going to go through my father because I'm one generation removed. She was all good until Trump got elected. And then she came back to me out. They want to see my mother's stuff because the father's stuff it's just not credible enough. Because you know how these Italians get it's like they seek each other. I give it up to them. And if anything, they're demonstrating how the Moors are supposed to be acting when it comes to breeding and familial and friendship connections. They are so exclusionary. Okay. I loved how she said it. Like, I didn't have friends growing up. My friends were my cousins and my brothers and sisters. That was it. That's all I needed. And the people in our church. That was it. That's all I needed. Everybody else was just like, and you see how consistent their traditions are, how well preserved they are on a whole other continent because of how they act. Anyway, so I'm saying, back to the class, proposing, and I'm going to put out a poll about this, that we're going to start having maybe book club, but definitely film studies sessions where we will be reviewing movies we've seen in the past through our now Moorish eyes. Okay. And this relates back to how these colonists ain't going to be able to go home. The movie that came up after we were discussing how Jamaica don't want their people back who have only been gone for like 20 years at the most. What about these colonists who want to go home? And you know that the people who sent them here are like, nah, you're a colonist. Even though we're the ones who made you a colonist, we do not want you coming back colonizing us. Look how you act. So the movie that came up in that discussion was Waterworld with Kevin Costner. So if you are so interested and to drum up some, interest and participation in the temple, Reggie, you up in here? Yeah, website coming soon. I already asked him, can we start holding like maybe on a Saturday when the Moors are like relaxing? So Friday you have temple, Sunday you have Sunday school. What you do on Saturday? You want to watch? You want to discuss a movie? We're not going to watch it. We're going to jump right to discussion, right? And the first one is going to be, do y'all want to watch? You want to discuss Waterworld and what's getting ready to happen to these Europeans and how that movie relates to it. That's that. All right. So that'll be up on Califa Media's Instagram because I don't feel like going to all these different platforms. All right. Weekly news. Cool. I'm going to try to go through this because I actually want to discuss the last piece. Okay. So first, double busted. Oh, excuse me. Or what I called it at the beginning, double busted vampire weed. So, double busted. The so-called self-proclaimed world's largest cannabis farm raided and charged with harboring of illegals. I think that just happened yesterday. So, 2 sets of people who are benefiting off of our land and our struggles got caught up. You ready? So, the so-called largest cannabis farm on earth, owned by some Caucasians in California. Isn't that convenient? How many brothers had to go to jail so that you could have the opportunity to set up the largest cannabis farm on some land that ain't yours? And look who you got to help. How do you run that without help? You invite some other people to invade the land you invaded to help you with that harvest. They both just got caught up. So if you're a Moor in the California area, a big old opportunity just opened up. right? And you have a lot based on setting yourself up correctly through certifiedmoorish.org/508. Okay. You can set up business and tell them to kick rocks and stay out your face. Okay. Because if you're the world's largest cannabis farm and you just got shut down, that sounds like some people are about to need some suppliers. I'm just saying, if you out there doing it anyway, right? Don't do it as a black person, though. So those two people just got caught up. And then there was a huge riot out there. People like, well, I'm a citizen, so I can defend this illegal. And he can stay here because I'm in front of him. I'm just like, y'all really don't know these people. This is how I know you are not part of this country. You have no idea what you're setting yourself up for. We do, because what you're setting yourself up for, we started there and we've slowly been working our way out of it. As in, they're looking for any excuse to blow you away and you're giving it to them. We never gave them any excuse except that we got away. That's what they see slavery as, the pink cavebees. We got away because, you're God, so you have the right to own me and my children. Psychos, okay? So anyway, both of y'all got caught up. I'm glad. Moors get in on that. I'm spotting opportunity. All these people have come over here seeking opportunities are now becoming the opportunities. So all those mugs who just got snatched up by ICE. Oh, back to the you giving them an excuse to blow you away? Yeah. Anyway, all those mugs who just got caught up by ICE, they're going to need people to process that paperwork. So when I posted recently about, oh, look at that, they're hiring 10,000 new ICE agents, they're going to need people to handle the paperwork behind them. I'm not saying you got to go scoop people up, but don't you want to see the list of people who got to pack and leave? And then don't you want to make sure that you position yourself when the inevitable happens, right? Oh, look at that. The Caucasians have removed all the people they invited to invade our land to keep us from prospering on our own land. Okay. Now that you got rid of them, now you got to go. Who's going to do that? Are we going to hire people, look for people, or are they already going to be in that position? And you don't have to do it as a government employee. These people are obsessed with contracts. Set up your business. Get right. Okay. And coming soon, Turnkey, right? If you had the idea, but not the know-how, and it's like, I'm not interested in that learning curve, fine. I'm teaching my 8, about to be 9-year-old daughter how to do bookkeeping while I do the business setup part. We're about to be full service. No excuses. Okay. So coming very, very, very soon. All right. Oh, and like I said, people were telling me that I'm going too hard on these, they think I'm like targeting Mexicans. Like, no, I'm talking about what's in the news. If it happens to be Mexicans, that's not my fault. Right. And, I actually posted something talking about how it's ironic who gets to determine who's illegal here. I just want to make a correction. It's not a retraction. It's a correction. I thought it was ironic. Who gets to determine who's illegal here? And I said it was the original illegals. The response I got back was, hey, Mexicans. Man, my best friends. I don't think I even had any black friends in high school. Maybe 2 or 3. The rest were Mexican. All right. Went to their houses, ate with their families, all that. Okay. I have no beef with Mexicans. Not all of them. Anyway, I have beef with opportunists. Scumbag, sneaky, slimy opportunists. That's who I got a problem with. So anyway, I forgot what I was about to say. Doesn't matter. So anyway, I put up there, the original illegals are the ones kicking out, determining who's illegal and kicking folks out. And my response from mostly Mexicans was like, hell yeah, this was our land. Viva Mexico. So as a correction, don't get it twisted. That was not to support your staying here. Okay. You need to pack and leave as well. I'm not talking to everybody. If you're a Muslim, if you are with us before all this mess started, hey, stay where you at. If you weren't and you know you weren't, stay where you at. So anyway, I just want to make it clear. Heck no, I am not supporting you. I'm not supporting anyone. I am myopic. I only see me as in my people. The rest of y'all can go to hell or go home. Either way, get the hell out of my land. Excuse my language, but I am so sick of watching all these other people trying to determine who gets to stay on my land, refusing to leave. Every child born in America is American. You're not from here. You don't get to say that. That's the part that bothers me so much. I wish other Moors would start checking these folks so they won't even bother opening their mouth. Because you know how that the black, I can't even do it. The black woman neck, how nobody wants to see that. Moors need to adopt that as our attitude so people will stop trying to claim our stuff. They're really stopping trying to tell us who we are. Because me personally, I just turn it back. Oh, you get to tell me I'm African? Now I get to tell you who you are. That usually ends the conversation. Because I guess they missed the memo. Be magnanimous. I'm just assuming they missed the memo. So anyways, just to make sure y'all know, all y'all need to leave. Go home. You have a flag. That flag is attached to a land. Go there. I'm not sure why you think you get to have yours and mine. I have a huge problem with that, and I'm going to say so every chance I get until y'all leave. I'm going to make sure you're as uncomfortable as you made me feel on my own land. That's my mission. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that this message may be spread widely to assist in our mission to normalize Moorish. So anyway, oh yeah, before you get too outraged at me talking about these people, like the ones who are getting caught up and the ones who are catching them up, neither one of them are supposed to be here. And here's what they're doing. Turns out that farm that got raided, the thing that like tipped it over, it's like how many farms out here got illegals working on them. And you know what tipped the balance? What made it be like, yeah, you go get raided first. You know what made them do it? A bunch of the people that they found out were working there were all these unaccompanied minors they couldn't find. They haven't been able to find these children since Trump left office the first time. They found them. But don't feel too bad for a lot of them, because a lot of them were 14 and up. Turns out they were unaccompanied because they decided on their own to come over here by themselves. Do not feel bad for these people. Ain't nobody pushing you out. My country's a crap hole. Fix it. Instead of running to my house, fix your house. How about that? Give me a break. The fact that you even got to tell these people that you have your own. You know this ain't it, right? It's got to belong. How about this? There's a land with no recognized owner. There's a people with no recognized land. We do know. You can't prove where I'm from, but I can easily prove where you from. How about that? Anyway, moving on so I can go and finish up. Now I'm mad. Anyway, I'm going to go through this real quick. So this goes in with the double busted vampire weed. Class action cat's paw. Real quick. Class action cat's paw. So since that last case, Trump versus Casa, where a district court judge tried to place one person sued to stay in the country based on her child, not even her. Her child was a citizen, so she needs to stay here to take care of this child she snuck into the country to have. So the district court judge said, fine, you get to stay. In fact, I'm going to make it true for everybody across the board. Supreme Court said, you're getting too big, you're getting out of pocket. That's not your lane. Shut you down quickly. Only the Supreme Court, the supreme law of the land, gets to say what's true for everybody, right? Fast forward a couple of weeks, another judge is trying it. And I'm just like, I didn't go to law school. I'm an autodidact, okay? I didn't go to law school. I went to the school for their assistants, because usually who ends up doing the most work? So I went to paralegal school. So to get around this thing where, well, you can make that ruling for that one party in that suit, but you can't do it across the board. They already had it ready the same day the suit filed, right? Or the Supreme Court said, no, you only limit it to that one party. That same day, the same parties said, fine, we got this class action ready. So if it doesn't work to give one illegal their rights, maybe it'll work if we give 20 illegals their right. There's a part in the Bible that says you will be made jealous and angry because I will put a foolish people over you. One illegal can't get this to work. So maybe 20 illegals can get this to work. And this is how you know they ain't got no case. The class action is for a select group of children born after February 20th. I got to look into it. Why did you pick that date? You're not even trying to defend the ones who were born to illegals before February 20th. What's going to happen to them? You only defending the ones who were born since February 20th? And now, because it's a class action, this district judge says, oh, it's across the board. You know, the Supreme Court just shut another district judge down for doing that. But you saying, since I got more people on the case in the same state, it applies to everybody across the United States. Stay tuned. If you want, because I mean it. But it's obviously a cat's paw. If you don't know what a cat's paw is, I think it was like, they said they credit Cleopatra with this thing, right? When she didn't want to touch something dirty or unworthy, she had this thing. I hope it wasn't one, but they called it a cat's paw, and she would use that to touch it instead. It's saying I'm using this thing to do what I need done, so I don't get caught up. I don't get caught up for this thing because obviously there must be something involved in the situation that I could get caught up for. So the way I'm seeing it is that these district judges are trying their best to use these Mexicans, or Venezuela. I'm naming all the groups that's being targeted. Nobody specific. Mexicans, Venezuelans, Haitians, Cubans, which is ironic since the Secretary of State is Cuban. Afghans, after they helped you for 20 years to betray their country. Oh, trust me, I think they deserve it, but that's foul. So these groups are being used to set the precedent so that the elites can stay. The ones who we will be removing once they've removed everybody else. Make sense? So they're using them as a cat's paw. It's not going to work. Oh, we need to interpret the 14th Amendment. What's to interpret? That's like saying blue. Well, we need to study what does B mean? What does L mean? What does U? No. It says the descendants of children born from slaves. Anybody want to own up to that? You know they about to try. Just like these gingers. I'm black. You weren't black last year. Anyway, so, and my thing is you can tell who's supposed to be here and who's supposed to leave by who's panicking. What you afraid of? Anyway, WASPs. And I'm going to try to get into this. This might go a little long. Okay, because it's 33 minutes and this is the good part. WASPs. Okay? So this one is called, what is this? Washed out wasp nest. Okay? If you don't know what a WASP is, it means white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, Christian. A wasp nest got washed out this weekend. And I'm sorry, I don't drink that much. I went and cracked something this weekend to celebrate that. And then there was the astrology behind it that I'm going to try to get to real quick. So I'm going to read my notes. So WASP, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, Christians, nest is wiped out. More pink babies taken in their sleep. Just like with the opioid crisis. It's like y'all pulled 2 opioid wars on China. In addition to, I don't know what, the crack epidemic, giving the natives alcohol. Y'all lucky you getting off this easy. At least your babies are being taken in their sleep. Ours had to watch it and suffer and witness their death. All right. Anyway, so Camp Mystic was an elite Christian, whites only girls camp, and it got flooded out. The thing I've been looking, I'm about to post a whole little treatise on this because I'm going in on these chicks and I'm going to tell you why, right? I'm a mother. I have 2 daughters and I'm about to enjoy the hell out of this. Excuse my language. I'm going to tell you why. So the thing that I've been looking at interviews from the people, what is your reaction? What is your reaction? I'm just like, why does anybody care? There was a ton of camps over there. Why ain't nobody caring about what happened to them? Why do you care so much about this camp? They were most proud of the traditions they've maintained since 1926 in the Central Texas Hill Country. What do you think that means? Since 1926 in the woods in Central Texas. Let's see. They were fundamental Christians with a camp named Mystic, even though mysticism goes against so-called Christian beliefs. It doesn't. There are signs in the sky for those with eyes to see. Okay, but you tell them you don't look up. You know how they are. The pentagram is evil, but we have it all over our stuff. You know, that kind of stuff. You know, whatever. I'm going to scare you away from your own stuff that works for you so I can use it. So, yeah. So The reason why I found this important was the absence of a woman's influence within a family and community can have far-reaching effects across generations due to their significant role in shaping faith, character, and legacy. You are what your mother is. So who were these girls? So it goes back to 1926. Some of their alumni include the daughters of Lyndon B. Johnson, the guy who set up the 501c3 and probably had something to do with Kennedy's assassination. All of the Bush daughters. They just interviewed George Bush's daughter, George II. So she was just going on and on about, how they were able to keep everything just the same from 1926. This is the daughter and the granddaughter of a president. She said other people up in there, she called them elite. She didn't refer to herself. She referred to them as Texas elite. Now, how do we keep that going? Right? My thing is, I look at history. I'm a history student. I look at the European dynasties and when they were the most successful. If you look at the Europeans, they were the most successful under their queens. Okay? Isabella, Elizabeth I, Victoria, Elizabeth II. What's that other chick's name? Catherine the Great. All right? These Europeans make their biggest, like they're good. And then they make these, what do they call when you like elevate, like when you skip 2 grades? When they just make these jumps when they have a queen in place. So how do we keep that going, right? We put these girls in place. We send them somewhere to make sure they know the program so we can keep all these Texas elites cranked out. And they spread all over the world. They tell about some senator from Delaware had to go check on his granddaughter. All right? So that's who got washed out. All right. And according to the Bible, when you lose a daughter, you lose 4 generations of your culture. And then I had to look at the astrology. Okay. Interesting astrology. I actually looked at it. Oh, my goodness. Yes. To the point where, this is how I looked at it. I didn't print out the description. Screw that. I'm going to look at the map and then just let it speak to me. Moors really need to start getting into astrology yourself because I'm going to say every single non-Israelite, I'll even throw the Israelites up in there, non-Moorish astrology is trash. They are garbage. I've been studying since 1977. That's interesting. You've been studying since the year I was born. You're still trash. You know why? Because in all of your interpretations and all of your examinations, you leave out the only one you need to be looking at. We're the time clock. That's in the Bible. Everything happens around us and you never examine what's going on around us. So you're trash. It's like saying, you know what I mean? Cars, right? I went through, I lubed everything. I changed the filter, right? I tightened up the brakes. I just didn't put no oil in the car. Or whatever fluid y'all need. So anyway, I was looking at the astrology. Start doing your own astrology. And I'm just like, you gotta be joking. You have got to be joking. The thing that made me look at the astrology was July 5th, the next day after this flood happened. Okay. It was coming down here. And I'm like, I know how it works in Indiana. Indiana is like a vortex. I'm in Indiana. It's like a vortex where we get the tail end of all the storms that happen in North America, basically, right? Like, oh, it's raining. Where's a hurricane or a tornado? Oh, look, there's a hurricane in Florida. We're getting the end of it. Oh, look, there's a big old rainstorm in Texas. We're getting the end of it. All right. And I'm looking like on the 5th. Like, dang, it's just coming down. Like, this is ridiculous. Why do I feel the need to check my ephemeris? So I check my ephemeris. Oh, look at that. The sun is in Cancer, water sign. Jupiter is in Cancer, water sign. It's exalted in Cancer, right? The moon is in Scorpio, also a water sign. So water, water, water all around. And I'm like, okay, look at that. It's at 29 degrees, 58 minutes of Scorpio. I bet you it's about to stop raining in about maybe 5-10 minutes. It's about to just stop raining. Sure enough, soon as it moved into Sagittarius, it stopped raining. to the ephemeris to see what happened on July 4th, the day before, because now I know the moon has just moved out of Scorpio. So when this happened, when this flood happened, it was in Scorpio. Sun is in a water sign, Cancer. Jupiter, which makes everything bigger, is in Cancer. Scorpio is in Cancer. The moon is in Scorpio, all right, which is a water sign. It hates Scorpio. The moon hates Scorpio, right? Because something usually bad happens. This is not a diss to moons in Scorpio. That's something different. Transit, natal, two different interpretations, okay? So the moon does not like transiting through Scorpio because it's just, the emotion is just too much to deal with, all right? But I'm like, that's not enough. Okay, I see how that has to do with the water. Where are the girls coming in? There were a ton of camps over there, right? They now coming out saying they don't even know how many people are missing because of so many people camping on those campgrounds. Sidebar. They don't know how many Caucasians are missing because the way this land is set up, oh no, only the prime spaces next to the river go to us. You niggas, you coloreds, you darkies, y'all got to go uphill. Guess who didn't die? Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I see where the water came from. Where did the girls come from? Because of course, if there's a girls' camp for these, the spawn of Satan to keep that program going. I say they're the spawn of Satan. You're the elite. You are the spawn of Satan. Okay. Where's the boys' version? Right across the river. They were fine. There was a ton of camps over there. They were fine. What's going on with specifically these elite girls getting caught up? Turns out the same day. I actually did it for the exact time. It happened July 4th at 5 a.m. Eastern. I think it was like 4 a.m. Central because that part of Texas is Central. Okay. And I actually looked it up for the exact time. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. So I'm looking at this. It says the North Node is in Pisces, more water. Okay. Saturn is in, it's at 1 degree of Aries. So it's in Aries at the Aries degree. So something about boundaries about to get heated. All right. Neptune was also in Aries. All right. More water, but it's in fire. So it should be dried up. Right. And then I'm looking like, yep, there's the sun and, Jupiter in Cancer. Yep. There's who is that? Mercury in Leo. Okay. No big deal. Right. There's Mars in Virgo and coming up in contact with the South Node. South Node usually means stuff that can't hurt you no more. Might explain why the boys didn't get affected by this, even though they were over there too. The thing that caught my attention was, so I'm trying to make sure I got this right. At the time that this flood hit, all right, the moment it hit, Venus was at 0 degrees of Gemini. Few minutes later, Uranus moved to 0 degrees of Gemini, and that's when the flood really hit. What does Venus rule? Females. Okay? What does Uranus rule? Sudden surprises out of nowhere, shocks, right? It rules some other stuff, but for the purpose of this conversation, sudden surprises, shocks. So, sudden surprises and shocks that relate to females. They're both in Gemini. Gemini rules children. Usually under the age of like 15. So this was like a perfect story. I don't know why Texas, I got to look into that. Like, why Texas? And then this sister, she had an interesting theory. Like that there wasn't enough rain to cause that flood that quick. That was something that came up from underground. I'm like, well, there are springs underground. So, and that would explain why that water rose that quick. Like I said, I'm putting together a video. I have like some clips of some stuff. It was crazy how fast that water rose. So, because I'm going into some detail. So anyway, I just found that interesting. That so we got. It was perfect. You have the sun and Jupiter expanding because I have Sun Jupiter conjunct. It expands everything in my life, right? Anything with media, anything Gemini related, it expands it, right? So you're expanding water. There's your flood. And then we got the planet of females and sudden surprises in the sign of young children. Anyway, it could have happened anywhere to anybody, but it happened to y'all, right? So why am I even going into this? I'm about to wrap this up because it's going on an hour. So yeah, why am I even looking at this? It goes to, because I like to throw some scripture in there. I was not raised Christian, but I do love the Bible, right? You laughed at my calamity, and now I can laugh at yours, okay? That's the main point, and I'm going to keep it short because this thing is going 46 minutes. All right, that's good. I got to say everything I wanted to say. So anyway, Psalms, or is it Proverbs 126? You laughed at my calamity, now I laugh at yours. I said it was ironic how all of this stuff involving these, it's a wasp nest. All the people who were supposed to birth and raise our oppressors are gone and cannot be replaced because these people are having enough problems having children. I just find it ironic that happened and we're planning an event called Navigating Waters of Legacy. I didn't do that on purpose. I just find that ironic. All right. And me personally, I feel a special call and a privilege to be the one going nest for nest. This was a wasp nest. All right. I guess this is going to be a dove's nest that I'm trying to plant. All right. Europeans, like I said, have had the most success under their female rulers. Who better to go after their women than our women? You got to, when you have an infestation, do you go after the bugs or do you go looking for the queen? Okay. You kill an invading horde at the source. Their queen. Is that it? It's long. So I hope y'all got something out of that, right? Stay tuned because on YouTube, because it's probably going to be kind of lengthy. Allah willing, it'll be out either this weekend or next weekend where I've broken out my, not chat GPT. I'm actually like breaking out books and references, you know, what is this? When God was a woman, all this stuff. What else do I have? Yeah, I'm showing off because, I think that's about to be the new commodity is authenticity. Because I don't know if you all have heard that, where is it? Who is that? YouTube has said they are going to stop monetizing AI videos. So you got to be authentic. And of course, got to throw that up in there. So yeah, I'm going in because Camp Mystic, and this is where y'all are raising the mothers of presidents. The daughters of presidents. Are you serious? Oh yeah. And none of that kept them safe. Or is something else going on? Now that I think about it. I'm going to stop right there because that's 48 minutes. Islam Moors, thank you for joining. I really appreciate you for doing that. Be sure to visit all our stuff on califamedia.com, mrcicharities.org and com, riseofthemoors.org and com for all the information on the upcoming Moorish Meetup in New York and Newark, and certifiedmoorish.org and com. So you can come out of my people and set up your own businesses. So you can start collecting contracts because people are going to start wanting to work with the ones that they know ain't going to get deported. Right? I don't care if it is bogus. How long have people been enjoying our pain? I know I'm savoring this mug. All right. So anyway, y'all have a good night and I'll see y'all next week. Islam, peace and love, and bye-bye. Y'all. All right.